Oh, Nick, what's good? We are back in the house once again. We're smiling, so the Knicks must not be too bad. I mean, usually we're kind of miserable towards this part of the season, but what can we say? We're doing pretty good. What do you think there, Upstate Joe? Welcome back to
Seven in a row, ain't one of them going to the playoffs.
Yeah, and we as a show is back two weeks in a row. This is like insane. I don't know. Can they handle all of this action that's going on? Well, everyone, welcome back to the All Knicked Up podcast. We're without one person today. One of the three amigos had to do a little something else. So yeah, I figured I put the hip hop song in there. It says just the two of us by Chubb Rock. It's just me and you, buddy. So we can rock this thing out. Let's see what we can do. Wow. There's always Knick news. You know, I always say there's always content, whether negative, positive, insanity, whatever you want to call it. There's always that going on with the New York Knicks. Even during times of prosperity, the Knicks are always relevant in some sort of form or fashion, and everybody's always usually jumping out the damn window one way or another. So, you know, we do a little USA, Martin with the ears. We start grabbing and trying to relax a little bit. And I, for one, feel absolutely happy to be a Knicks fan right now. I don't have all this. I don't have all this stuff going on. This dark matter that is. I mean, I'm dark, but the dark matter I'm talking about. Some dark is positive, but the dark matter of the New York Knicks is just absolutely insane right now. Which we'll get a little bit into that. You know, my name tonight, as everybody knows, I sometimes change my name around. I have a lot of aliases. And for those that don't know, my alias tonight is Gorilla Monsoon. I know people like, who the hell Gorilla Monsoon? Somebody like Joe's age would know who Gorilla Monsoon is my age. However, he was a commentator for WWF wrestling at the time, you know, and he was a big dude, and he had a very colorful way of calling things. And the one term that I thought about today coming home, I was like, he used to use a term with Bobby the Brain Heenan. You guys just do your archives, figure this out. And he used to tell Bobby Heenan that he was the fountain of misinformation. I always thought that was the fountain of misinformation. Well, that's something we're going to get into about the New York Knicks and the fountain of misinformation, as we have a few people spewing some venom towards us. But we'll get into that. I just wanted to basically get back to what we're talking about, capping the Knicks. You know, the Knicks right now, I know people want to look at the Knicks and they go, we got to be playing terrible. They think we're the worst team in the league. If you were to go to the people that cover the team, not the real beat writers, not like Ian Begley and those guys. I'm talking about they are actually on the, you know, they have the pulse of what is going on with the Knicks. We're talking about national media. We know how they tend to look at the New York Knicks, and I think they love flaming the fires. We're going to get into one, you know, Rocket Raccoon in a little bit also, some of the antics that's going on. But, you know, when I look at the Knicks, and its totality, I mean, when I really read it, even within our own group, shout out to Eric, sometimes you think the sky is really falling. And I always said we got to bring it back a little bit, because your New York Knicks, as bad as people tend to think they are not a bad team. Right now, the Knicks are probably getting a lot of the I don't know, the typical Knick venom that has been going on for so long. We are a battered group of fans. You know, we've been through our share of garbage and bad regimes and bad coaching and bad luck, et cetera, et cetera. But, you know, I lean a little bit back to Joe while he's here as being one of the people that sometimes during the year he has these prophecies and these epiphanies, and he goes, you know what? We're better than, we might get back to the finals. And then, you know, we have a little hiccup that may not make it, but it's that belief that I love hearing from you as a fellow Knicks fan, knowing that you have the conviction to say, well, why not us? That's the thing I always say, why not us? It's always why we shouldn't. Why not us? Why can we not be one of those teams that's favored to go all the way? You know, we have the tools, as we do believe. We've showed the promise. We have a great player in Jalen Brunson, who's absolutely, to me, the most clutch player in the league still, even though he might be considered a falling off this year. I don't feel that way about him still. I still have that kind of trust and conviction in what he's capable of doing. But I just wanted to give like a little summary, and you can touch on it, Joe, when I get here. I just want to let people know there was a little, I think this still probably exists. Was it AM radio? It used to go tick, 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 10-10 wins. and say, give me 30 seconds or give me 10 seconds, I'm giving you 30 games. And I'm going to try to tell you that in 30 games, the New York Knicks, your New York Knicks that you talk so down about, not you, Joe, I'm talking about the fans out there who are just jumping off skyscrapers all the time. The Knicks are 23-7 in 30 games. I'm just giving all of you guys who are out there listening to us a chance. And if you catch us on a replay or whatever, I just want you to chime in. And are you shocked that your team is one of the top?
That's damn near 75% winning percentage.
Which, if you put that into any playoff series, how are you not winning a title? Literally, I mean, I know it's a little different dynamic in the playoffs, but I always like to liken that to 75% winning percentage is absolutely insane. Your team is winning more than most of the league. In fact, when you look at the power rankings, the top 5 teams, your team is one of them. So I'm here, I just want to let you coast a little bit here, Joe, and talking about when looking at your team, because you're very even keeled about a lot of stuff. You're very measured. You tend to say, hey, yeah, we could see why there's a problem or something you might want to be worried about, but I'm going to pump my brakes until we get to the playoffs. So I just want to see what your thought is when looking back over the 30 games, and I'm telling you we're 23-7. Are you shocked that we're being covered differently, like we're a terrible team?
Okay. So the media is the extension of the fan. So we need a prelude to the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And the prelude has to do with Knick fandom. There is, in Chicago Bull fans, sorry it ain't you. Los Angeles Laker fans, sorry it ain't you. Boston Celtic fans, sorry it ain't you. Knick fans are the most passionate, knowledgeable, and suffering fan base in all of basketball.
Absolutely.
It's conditioning. You want to talk about Pavlov, Jung, Freud, all of those things. Mm-hmm. We have been conditioned to expect the hand to come down to us as fans. We're accustomed to winning, makes us uncomfortable. We're waiting for the other shoe to drop because we've seen it happen when we've gotten close before. Now, the thing is right now, that is kind of really ratcheted up right now because you can kind of smell it sometimes. You can see the team. You can see it when it comes together. You can see the potential, but you are used to a certain outcome with this team. And the media, as an extension of that, feeds the fan base because that's what they do. And they feed them shit. Exactly what they think. They reinforce all these things. That's why Stephen A. Smith, who is probably a Knick fan in real life, but he knows the button to push because it's all about the button pushing. And he is not a stupid man. He knows how to keep his audience engaged. All of those diatribes about Knick fandom and all that stuff, he wrote down in Microsoft Word, turned around and delivered that, and it's very calculated, and it's meant to get a response.
Absolutely.
So this team right now, everybody's screaming about Mikal Bridges. Well, to tell you the truth, we have the luxury of having a player of that talent be our 4th option on offense, and that is the God's honest truth. This is the deepest Knick team I've ever seen. One thing about Mike Brown, and I'm holding off judgment on Mike Brown to see that the way that he's using Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns and the way that they brought along Mitch Robinson is actually going to work out. I'm holding out judgment on that. The thing that I think that he's doing the best is he's not only using his bench, but he's cycling them all through to keep them fresh and keep them involved and keep them invested and keep them ready. Right? We are not only a deep team, but we can have people go out during the playoffs and the next guy will come up and the next guy will be fresh and ready to go. So I think ESPN had us down in the latest power rankings as the 6th best team in the league. And I bet you if you looked over NBA champions and stuff like that, there were a lot of them that were ranked the 6th best team in the league. It's not the best team that wins every year anymore. There's a lot more parity in the league. Things are a lot closer than they seem. The This is a seasoned team. This is a team with playoff experience. A couple of our guys have championship experience in college, but that still counts.
Yeah,
that's as much pressure as NBA Finals, in my opinion. You get into March Madness and win the whole thing twice.
Yeah,
you have winning DNA if you can do that.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So why not us? Would I bet my 403b, my retirement account on it? No, of course not.
Yeah, exactly.
But we absolutely have a shot, and that's all you need. And to tell you the truth, man, I know that everybody wants the chip. Winning a chip is hard. Winning a chip is hard. Things got to fall right. You have to have the right team. So, again, why not us? I agree. Is this team perfect? No. If I could redo it all over again, would I have done the Mikal Bridges trade? Probably not. But that's what they call in economics a sunk cost. It's done. It's over with. You can't cry about it anymore. He's a Knick. This is our team. We can't undo that. We can't jump in the DeLorean and, with Michael J. Fox and go back and undo it. It's a sunk cost. The trade was made. He's a Knick. And you know what? He did save our beans in the final in against Boston last year. He does have that. So again, I just feel honestly like we are in kind of a renaissance period with the Knicks. I started talking to you and Eric in like 2010, I think, on the Knicks wall.
Yeah.
We talked a lot of basketball. We've seen a lot of bad teams over the years. This is good basketball. Of course I want them to win a chip. I want them to win the whole thing. I want to go with you guys to the parade. Exactly. I want to do all that. But I'm going to enjoy this now. When I turn on MSG, more often than not, they're winning. And they look good. So I'm excited about the playoffs. I'm excited that we're playing playoff basketball. And I'm excited to see what happens. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I love your story that you're sticking to also, because that is exactly what it is. Like New York Knicks fans, and it does come from the blowback of the media fanning fires. It comes back to the psyche of the losing mentality that's always been associated with the Knicks. You're going to fail. You're no good. These are things.
If the fans want a bologna sandwich, they're going to give them a bologna sandwich.
They're going to give them every bit of it. And they might not even fry it and put any mustard on it, which kind of tastes pretty good. But they're not going to do any of that. They're not going to cook it up for you. They're just going to give it to you raw and uncut. And they know their audience. That's part of it. If you even advertise, we're talking about food. How much money is spent in advertisement every year to coerce people into buying stuff, even the food, with those colors alone allow make you hungry. So that's letting they know which buttons to push. So that's the one thing that always shocks me. But I mean, it is we are in a sheeple society, where you see people like the Stephen A. Smiths get up there and just does his diatribe or his act or whatever, his stick or whatever you want to call it, and the fans fall prey to it. And I'm like, look, if you know basketball, we all know that there's only going to be one team winning every year. You only want to be able to be one of those teams that they believe has a favorable chance of getting that title in the end. The Knicks have done their due diligence in their job of putting together a team that is capable of winning it all. And they could also be capable of not making it all the way there and winning it too. But I'd rather be the top 5 team with issues than to be the low bottom team waiting for a draft pick. Because it's really funny. I was the king of Tankathon within the group. I was watching Tankathon all the time. And now I'm like, I don't even go on the site. It's like, what a beautiful thing that you don't have to worry about the Knicks not being in the playoffs, Go on, Joe.
No, definitely. I agree 100% with you. Again, it's hard to unravel all that stuff. It really is. But this might be the best Knicks team I've ever seen.
Been watching this for a long time. And I think that's why I sit back and look with a lot of satisfaction. For me, we've never had a Brunson. I've never seen, I've had a chance to watch Bernard King.
Certainly not a guard of that caliber, no.
The way and what he's done for the Knicks it's like when I see certain Knicks fans, they're like arguing about, and that's the thing, they're arguing about a guy, the guy who is him, as they say. He is him. He's the guy you've been wanting in a
The
new
guy.
uniform for the longest time. Shout out to Melo and what he did, but what Brunson is doing is what we wanted Melo to be like, or people thought Melo should have been like. And I don't care how talented he is as a scorer. It's that thing that Jalen Brunson.
He wasn't a winner, Melo. I
What's that?
love Melo. I love Melo. I love watching him play. Unstoppable, but he was not a winner at heart.
No.
I don't believe he was.
No.
Even though he did win a national title at Syracuse. As a pro, I didn't see him as a winning player.
I don't. I when the Knicks traded for him, I'll be one of the first to tell you. I mean, within the group, there's probably mutiny between Eric and Craig, probably on me, because I didn't want that trade, and it's not because I don't respect Melo. In fact, I have only, I think, one or two non-Knick or New York apparel. That's how much of a New York fan I am. And one was Melo's Denver Nuggets hat. And the other one was Allen Iverson. So it's not like I didn't respect Melo. It's just more.
A beautiful player. It was
I just
a beauty watching him play.
He didn't have the winning approach and mentality for me, for you to give up a lot of assets for. That's why it's like so funny when you're hearing about the Mikal Bridges. And like I said, the trading off assets, the Knicks have been notorious for overpaying for what do you want to call the overpayment. So it's nothing new. But however, usually the overpayment is at a detriment to the Knicks' success.
Yeah.
That's my point with Mikal Bridges. And I'm going to get into that in a second.
Okay.
Bridges, what you spoke upon, like he's the fourth option. Your fourth option is Mikal Bridges. That means, yeah, he's important, but he's not that damn important to the team.
No.
That's crazy when you think about it, because this guy is supposedly, we're going to say he's struggling. Okay, he's struggling, and the Knicks have won 23 out of 30 games. So what are we talking about here?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Now, from everybody, he sucks like a lollipop. This is what we hear. He sucks like a lollipop. This guy is terrible. Burn the bridge, literally. They want to burn his bridge and say that this guy absolutely is hideous. And I go back and ask the question, are the Knicks losing because of Mikal Bridges? Are the Knicks in last place? And now we're going back and having revisionist history? Well, much like you said, something that was done and dead and it's over with. He's been here 2 seasons now. So we're looking at that as the overpayment. But in spite of the supposed overpayment, we're sitting as one of the top 5 teams in the league. I'm not understanding.
There's an embedded error in thinking in this whole thing. What the fan thinks is if he was firing on all cylinders, and if he was playing better, we'd be even more formidable and maybe win a chip, without realizing that there are not enough balls to go around. There are not enough balls to go around for him to score 20 points and OG to score 20 points and Cat to score 20 points and Brunson. It's impossible. Somebody has to take a back seat. Players that take a back seat and shoot the ball less. Now, I was a basketball player technically, not anything close to the level that any of these guys are. But if you're not getting touches, your rhythm is off, your shot is not there, you can't get into rhythm, your shooting percentage goes down. All of these things happen. So the expectation that we should have 4 20-point-a-game scorers, 20 it doesn't work with the math. It doesn't work within the realities of the game. It's that embedded fallacy of he's keeping us from a title. So, I mean, look at what he did in Brooklyn. Well, look at the team he had around him. Was he not the first option?
He was the only option.
At least in Phoenix, he was the third option, but there was really no 4 options. There were only 3 options on that team. Right? So, again, I thought it was going to be a bigger season for him, but I don't know if it's to blame him as much as it was just what Brown saw in this team and what he thought would make them win. I think there's a lot of people that got their contracts recently or are in the middle of a contract and they're getting paid, and he asked them to do things that you would never ask somebody in a contract year to do because they had their money. They said yes.
Mm-hmm. No,
That's just my two beans, man.
no, I love that take because that's exactly what it is. When you look at these players coming in, like, okay, Brooklyn is an anomaly for Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges has never been a superstar.
Yeah.
He'd been in college. He played excellent, but he played as that utility guy, that glue guy. Capable defender. Clearly, when he was drafted for his defense. So you don't go that low in the draft usually if you're considered a superstar talent.
Yeah.
By the time you get to past the fourth or fifth pick, you're getting into la la land. There's question marks or potential. You probably didn't draft a Kobe Bryant, who was at the time not even a superstar himself. It took him many moons before he became what the Kobe we learned him to be. So, when you're picking that far down, you might get the Donovan Mitchells a little bit who got kind of jumped over. But needless to say,
or you get Kevin Knox.
And you get Kevin Knox, who, high potential. Kevin Knox beat out Mikal Bridges. This tells you how the NBA is. Supposedly in practice, we're talking practice.
That's never going to get old.
Yeah, that's always practice. We're talking Kevin Knox supposedly gave Mikal his lunch, took his lunch from him. And people were like, oh, that's why the Knicks supposedly skipped Mikal Bridges. You think the Knicks would skip Mikal Bridges again for Kevin Knox? Absolutely not. Because the tail of the tape is when you look at the career, obviously Kevin never had a career. And even more so, meanwhile, 2 years after that, Mikal Bridges, or 2 or 3, Mikal Bridges he's in the finals with CP3, potentially being the MVP of the finals if Knicks didn't collapse. So, if people have these expectations, like he needs to come in and be like the thoughts is that, if we didn't give him those picks, we can get Giannis. Let me tell you, Milwaukee's not taking late first round picks. The Knicks are a very good team, but this goes back to understanding how good your team is. Your team is so good that each pick you're going to get for the next 5 years, barring something dramatic happening, it's going to be a 25th to 26th pick every time for the next 5 years. You're not getting in the lottery. You're not sniffing the lottery.
The late picks and the late swap have a chance. I'm talking the real late ones.
Real late ones. Yeah, like the down the kick. Yeah, there's some. Yeah, you're right. There's some picks that are like concerning. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
it's not these ones. Like you may lose a valuable one, like you said, when the can is all the way down the road. But, I also believe in this factor. I don't know if most people feel this way, but the Knicks suck at drafting high. I don't know when we're going to learn. We are the worst drafting high team, and granted, we've only had
even in the Leon Rose era.
We had Obi. None of that worked. None of that worked. What's worked is what you're seeing when we talk about a Mitchell Robinson being a championship piece. We talk about a Deuce McBride being invaluable. We're talking about Tyler Kolek with a huge amount of potential to run a team and maybe be backup. We're talking about
Wara looking the way he's looking, all second round picks.
Wara's looking like he's not even a diamond in the rough. He's just a diamond, just not polished enough right now. And these are all second round. That's why when people say, "Oh, the Knicks," I'm like, the hell with those picks. Those picks. I mean, I'm not being funny. The Knicks do better in second round. And it's been going on for the last 8 to 9 years. They just picked better. Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickly. It doesn't matter. All these guys who gave you some value to get guys like an OG, attached to that was Emmanuel Quickly, who was one of the later picks. He had value. The Knicks boosted his value and allowed you to go get OG Anunoby. The Knicks do great in the second round. When they have a lottery pick, I'd be more afraid. Because they don't do that well at all. If you are getting a late round or later round, it's like the Washington pick that the Knicks, the fans are like, oh, the Washington, granted, they did sucker stuff by tanking and all that stuff. But you're getting the second round picks. I'm like, well, that to me is more valuable.
They're going to get 2 second round picks from a team that still doesn't really have anything going on in their rebuild. Yep.
So those are going to be.
And I don't think Anthony Davis and Trae Young are going to change that all that much.
Because you sneeze on one of them and they're going to go get a cupcake disease. This is what it is with them. But the Knicks, the Knicks are a very good team. So those picks, as much as people are hawking about, I challenge anybody. Someone tell me if you didn't do the Mikal Bridges trade, given you're the New York Knicks, let's talk about this gives the scenario. You're the New York Knicks. You're trying to build a championship quality team, and the whole rest of the league knows it. They all know it. They're not sending you any help. Let's just be real about what the Knicks are. The Knicks are a team vying for a championship. They want to build a championship roster. They already had, obviously, success with Julius and Dante and all those guys, but they needed upgrades. They knew they were going to have to build out a championship. What team with those picks that the Knicks had, which were always going to be late picks, you think somebody's not going to milk the Knicks? Yeah, it just happened to be Brooklyn. There was going to be another Brooklyn. You go tap over to the Pelicans.
We paid the Brooklyn tax on that.
You don't want to pay the Pelican tax. Go and try to get Trey Murphy, which is probably the Mikal Bridges type, because you needed a wing. Go get him or Jones from New Orleans.
Look at what it took to get Desmond Bane.
Desmond Bane. People are talking about Mikal Bridges. Yeah, he's in New York. I mean, clearly we have different interest in that. But look what it took to get Bane. Look what it took to get Rudy Gobert. Mm-hmm. So you imagine you're the New York Knicks and you're going, you're hitting the 7 digits, and you're calling up one of these franchises and say, hey, let's make a deal. They're going to tell you, give me everything you got to get a high-end role player.
All right, so I'm picking up what you drop in here, and I want to add another layer to it because I'm agreeing with this. So basically, you got a bunch of late first-round picks that you're putting out, but you're getting something back on the back end of there, and that's called room under the second apron that you're not allowing for those draft picks. For players that are not going to play because your bench is so deep. So you get added flexibility underneath the second apron from those right now. So that becomes a wash when you think about where this team is in its development and its possibilities. So you're looking at maybe, would you trade what is probably going to be 1 or 2 mid to high round lottery picks for a player of his ilk, considering the chemistry he has with the core of that team in the timeline that we're in now, considering that those players that you're going to take are not going to fit with your timeline. So what you're doing right now is they're great for development in 2031, right? But they're not going to help you now. Right now is your window. Right now is your window. Right? And in 2031, if you don't get those pieces, you know what? You suck real bad, and then you get a better draft pick the following year. And you get a foundational player instead of building your team with mid to high-level lottery picks, which does not really work all that well. Exactly. So I'm understanding everything you're saying. I just want to add another layer in that.
You were cooking on that because people don't realize the salary cap implications or these aprons. Like you're going to keep all these first rounders on your book. Now, when you talk about you have got the flexibility to make moves, being that the aprons are now in place, you got the genius guy in the front office of the Knicks, and Brock Holland. He didn't see what you're talking about. What you're talking about is exactly the mindset. You cannot sign all these first-round picks. You have to get off of those first-round picks, and you're trying to win a title. And what the Knicks said, well, look, we're going to find extreme high value in the second round where we're not paying these guys a lot of money for a very long time to pay it. You got 3 or 4 years before you got to overpay them.
Yeah.
This is smart. It's like the Knicks fan, they're not listening. They're going, Mikal, 5 picks. You know, there's going to be an overpayment of some sort, but you nailed it, Joe. You freaking nailed it. Going back to thinking that way even more so. Those guys, that's why they're playing chess, and we're sitting here jumping checkers right now.
We got smart people in that front office, man. There's no doubt about that.
That's brilliant. What you just brought up, that's brilliant. Because that's exactly the mindset probably of the Knicks front office. And one, you have a time window. It's like we were talking in the chat earlier today or yesterday, I think it was, and Eric was bringing up about championships. He's like, oh, I want the Knicks to try to, sustain it, to think about building for more than one. I'm like, they only need one. They only need one. I mean, it'd be great. I mean, well, dynasty, but look, if we get one, all of us are going to die because the excitement alone, we're going to all implode if they get
No,
one.
we need one right now, and if you're trying to win one while planning for multiples, you're going to take away from your ability to win one. Sometimes you have to push your chips in.
Yep, go all in, go hard or go home.
Yeah.
And that's the mentality. I think the Knicks front office. They're solidified God status if they win a title. I don't care who is the MVP. That whole team will never pay for anything ever in New York ever again.
No.
If you ever win a title, and whoever is that MVP is just he's God status. Whether it's Brunson or Cat, whatever question marks that were ever made about, say if it is Jalen Brunson, imagine where his status goes to after being doubted all these years about who he was.
They're going to name a bridge after him.
What's that you say?
They're going to name a bridge after him.
Oh, yeah, hands down. And there's not going to be no tolls on
the
that.
Mario Cuomo Bridge ain't going to be the Mario Cuomo Bridge anymore. It's going to be the Jalen Brunson Bridge.
Jalen Brunson. Look, imagine Karl Anthony Towns, the guy who everybody calls Zesty. Imagine if this Zesty dude wins the title, he's MVP. The Zesty's out the damn window. Now, nobody's going to be talking about how zesty he is.
They're going to rename Chelsea Towns.
Yeah, exactly. So we're looking at this. This will make you immortal. Are you kidding me? They realize it. That's why they're saying their all-in moves were like the all-in move literally was Karl Anthony Towns. Everybody goes Mikal Bridges, but Karl Anthony Towns was the all-in move. When they made the trade for Bridges, it was in mind of knowing they can get Cat. And that's your all-in ship move, if you want to call it on. They still got flexibility to move one of these guys that they feel like they can win with them. But my point is that Karl Anthony Towns, the kind of money Karl Anthony Towns makes, that's where your limitation is. Because who's going to take that contract if, God forbid, no team like Milwaukee finds high value in him, or another team like in New Orleans?
I don't think you're going to see him on a second contract in New York.
I don't think so either. I don't see it.
But I will say one thing: as much as people are railing against the Bridges trade, we stole Towns.
Oh yeah,
we won that trade hands down. I don't want to hear about both teams won. No, we stole Karl Towns in the trade.
They stole. It's like it's not even. I mean, shout out. We know what Julius contributed to the New York.
I love Julius. I've been defending Julius for years.
Yeah,
we won that trade hands down.
It's not even close. You got you not only have an all-star talent, you have a guy when engaged is elite. He is an elite player in the NBA. Like we always call him in our chat, Jokic Light. When he's engaged in full throttle, he's Jokic. Sometimes we just then there's games he like Joakim. I don't know. Some days when he doesn't check out. But recently, shout out to Karl Anthony Towns when being engaged. He might have his little flickers here and there, but he's showing you what he's capable of when that guy's locked in, playing with passion. And we stole that trade. I don't think it was even close.
And individual elite ability is more important in basketball than any other sport.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Hands down.
Absolutely. And watching Towns, his defense is better. We can see he has some mindless moments. I guess you're just going to deal with those and live with those. But we stole that trade. When we look at, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk about too. Let me move the screen. We know I said it was the founder misinformation. I just want to talk a little bit about in this regards. We look at a guy like OG Anunoby. We're talking about overpayments. So I'm going to just focus in on two guys. OG being the first one and Mikal being the second one. We talked about, because why Mikal, we've heard it a million times.
Worth every penny.
Yeah, we look at OG. Remember when this deal came about?
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks traded both RJ Barrett, Manuel Quickly. Knicks fans was in an uproar. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't mind them trading. I was like, well, how good is OG? Because I never fathomed him doing all the offensive things. But we know about the two-way talent, and him being a lockdown all-defensive player. But at the time, we're like question marks around that. And people thought that was an overpayment. Then on top of it, he comes in, he goes, well, I'm going to play here, but I want an extension now. And we know that they dangle the free agency with the Sixers having the ability to sign him. You're the two
Sixers would have signed him.
Yeah, you had a few teams out there wanting to get him, and what Knicks fans did, we're in uproar. You paying him what? You paying him what? Overpayment, complete overpayment. Nick, people were just scrutinizing this damn trade, and then the extension and saying how the Knicks dare put this guy, and it's one of the high at the time before Carney Towns. OG Anunoby was the highest paid Nick. He was the highest paid Nick, and people were pissed about that. And now, meanwhile, it's so funny now. When he came here, he started winning. The record reflected that. And even to this day, 2 years later, the record reflects that, yeah, he's worth every damn dime because they've not won less without him. And we asked him what he does special. And this is the part I want to get into. $212 million was an overpayment, they say, right? That's what you heard. But for the sense of chemistry, OG Anunoby right now is averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. Those numbers don't kill anybody. $212 million, you wouldn't think those numbers. You go, wow, didn't we overpay for that? We're talking blind items. If you saw this item as a basketball fan, you say the guy's averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. What should his contract be? Nobody's saying $212 million. No, nobody would say it. They go, oh, that's overpayment. But you're winning with him. You're winning with him. So we move on. 212 was the overpayment. We go back to Mikal Bridges. Those numbers don't look too much different, right? 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. That's what he's averaging. He's right along OG's numbers. You winning with him? Knicks fans, you winning with him or not? Did you win in the playoffs with him? That's the question I asked. Did you win in the playoffs with him? If you won in the playoffs with him, raise your hand. I'm going to raise mine. I know you're going to raise yours. You won with him. So stop with the overpayment crap because this is just getting ridiculous. You've already paid for these guys, and they've gotten you further, especially as a Knicks fan, a starving, diehard Knicks fan who cried many days and had a lot of blood pressure medicine issued to him and everybody else. Your Knicks were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year with a guy who we claim is broken and a guy that's overpaid. I'm
going to tell you right now, OG might be one of the better third option players in the league, and I'm going to tell you why right now. Mm-hmm. He is scoring much better. He is consistently putting that number up. It is not peaks and valleys, and he plays within himself. He does not go out and jack up 26 shots in a game to try to get his numbers. He's always efficient. He plays within the game, and he produces consistently. And he's improved in that area. Mm-hmm. Second of all, he brings elite defense. Mm-hmm. He might be the most versatile defensive player in the league as far as the ability to cover guards, centers, forwards, anyone. What that enables your team to do from a defensive perspective, he is a defense, that guy. So, again, look at what he did to Zion last night. Playing Zion last night. Zion is a very talented player and strong. OG is strong as a bull. I'll tell you right now, we got an elite defender, an elite skill set. And I'm going to go back to what I said before. Elite talent in the NBA is the rarest commodity in all of sports. So, again, I loved the trade when it went down. I brought up that they should trade for him before that even became a thing on this show.
You were definitely big on that. Absolutely.
So, again, that pushes Bridges to the 4th spot. The 4th spot is a tough place for a talented player to exist. It's not an easy place to exist as a 4th option.
It's not. We saw someone brought up the other day, I'm going to borrow from them, they were talking about how tough it was for Chris Bosh to be a 3rd option after being the main guy in Toronto. You know,
he's a wonderful player.
Mikal Bridges is offensively wise, I should say. So, I mean, but that lets you know when he was called Spice Bosh when he got down there. They were clowning him no different than they clown Mikal Bridges. They talked really scathing about Chris Bosh, like he was an incapable player and he was weak juice. But when he was in Toronto, he was an absolute monster. You know, so I always liken it back, and the guy I'm going to bring up because we're old school heads. It's no different than Mark Aguirre coming to Detroit.
Yes, that is an excellent, 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 excellent.
Well, do your homework. You think Mark Aguirre had to come in and be a third or fourth option on
He
a
was,
team?
he was the dude in Dallas, man.
He was that damn dude.
He was the dude in Dallas.
Nasty fucking player. Excuse my language, but he was. He was nasty. Like when you watch him in the NBA, he didn't need to go to Detroit to be special.
No.
He went there to win a ring.
Yeah.
And he sacrificed his own game. And even more so, he sacrificed to the point he told them to let Rodman start. Hold on. A guy who can get you 20-something points every night in a tougher league is saying, nah, we work better with that dude to go in. We want him to go in. I'll let him go ahead of me. When you talk about Mikal Bridges and everybody's talking about, oh, this guy needs to come and get 25 or 30 points, he was never a volume shooter to begin with. And he's always been that secondary, well, more like the third option. Now he's saying be fourth option and guard the hardest guy on the league, on any team.
The difference between third and fourth option is much bigger than the difference between 2 and 3.
Exactly.
Much bigger.
Exactly. Because you're asked to do cardio when you're the fourth. You're asked to do cardio and do all the dirty work. And I think we're talking about Mike Brown's belief or his thinking behind it. I would say that part of his thinking probably is that it would behoove him more to get OG going than to have him just be that guy who you are giving as the fourth option. Because you probably wouldn't get any scoring from him, to be very honest, if you were not featuring him somewhat to get him started and going. I think Tom Thibodeau saw the same thing. Like there were plays ran for OG to begin the game, and we're like, why is he featuring OG? Probably because he knows that that's a guy you got to feature to get him going. Because once that gets started, now you got that elite ability on the other, like you said, the elite talent. There's not many who have elite skills at this level, and especially in this sport. He does have one. So imagine he is not using that because he's not seeing the ball enough. And he wants to take a role in the offense. Whereas a guy like Mikal's clearly not trying to score a lot. He's never been that guy trying to score a lot. He was made to score in Brooklyn. And I think he got tired of that. I think he was a little exhausted in Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken. He was less overwhelmed by the responsibility. He doesn't want that. That's not his game. He wants to fit in. He's easier to plug in than than OG would be.
He's here to win. He's not here to be the dude.
He's got his money. That's why
he's got his money. That's why he's fourth option right now. Yeah. He's just starting a near max contract. That is the easiest condition for a coach to say, I'm changing your role. You got your money. You don't have to worry about free agency for 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
I need you to do this.
Exactly. And I think that's what happened with Carl Anthony Towns. I think I would say he had to come to Dominican Jesus moment. He had to come to Dominican Jesus moment because I think Brown is like, well, look, you already got your money. You're stuck here for another couple of years. They're not trying to trade you. You got to get on board and do this kind of play.
It's different with Towns, though, because he is extension eligible, even though he's got years on his contract. So I think that's part of the complaining that's going on the Towns end because he's extension eligible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
so
they're knocking his door down right now with a contract, paying him $70 million a year. You haven't heard Mikal Bridges complain about his role. You have heard Towns complain about his role or innuendo, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. But Mikal, like I said, shout out to Mikal Bridges. I know there's things that we watch. Obviously, I think cosmetically, a lot of people are disturbed. Obviously, the fading away from the basket. I get that. We're in New York. Everybody wants somebody to go throw down. But there's not one Knick I've seen other than OG recently got some pogo springs in his calf, I guess, because he's just dunking on everyone. But we've never had, since I can recall, maybe Spreewell, the guy that's going to go down the lane and tomahawk or kill the rim. We could say Obi, but I mean Obi wasn't that dude.
No, he wasn't that dude.
He wasn't that dude.
He was a nice player, but
if he was that dude, he'd still be here. To be very honest, how athletic he was.
Yeah.
If you were a killer, he would be here because they would love him.
Brown would have loved him the way he likes the up tempo.
Yeah. Oh, he would have been.
He would still be a Knick if Brown was the coach.
Oh yeah. Tom couldn't. Tom didn't. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna figure
I
it
didn't
out.
know what to do with him.
Yeah, he didn't. He was talking to that dude's a funny coach. he doesn't know. He just throws him in the garbage. Like, oh, I have no use for this. He's like, oh, look at the cake's fresh. Oh, I'm not eating that cake.
He's fast and he's chump. I don't like it.
It's stale. Oh, it's stale. You just got out the fridge. It's stale. You know, you can't eat any of it. So.
You do the best Tibbs invitation. You dust it off every now and then. It makes me laugh every time you do Tibbs. Every single time I laugh.
It's so funny, but to think about it, he would have been great, definitely. Yeah, there's no doubt about it at this point. So we're going to go back to the misinformation because we're going to just address a lot of time on this, but we do need to address, defending the Knicks. I'm a defender of my team. I know when we've sucked, we've been through that. Now we don't suck, and I get tired of hearing people tell us that saying that the Knicks suck. We don't suck. We might have flaws. We might not be as consistent. We're not as pretty. We're not the pretty one at the prom every night. Yeah. Could we use a little bit more makeup? Yeah. There's a couple things we can tuck in, but once again, we said 75% winning percentage. You kind of shut the hell up and move on. I mean, I don't know what more you want from the Knicks. It's not the playoffs, so we can't talk about, well, I hope that they win the first round. So we're talking regular season right now. Your team is in the pageant. You're not an ugly team. You're no longer an ugly team. You got a little beauty mark on you. You look kind of cute now. So the question is, can you win the crown in the end? Are you going to be Miss USA or whatever? Are you going to be Miss Universe? That's really what it comes down to the Knicks. So in saying that, we've talked about Mikal Bridges clearly and about all the stuff about the picks. We've heard that garbage. But we know that there's always one person in New York who has the biggest mouth. And, I call him Rocket the Raccoon. You got the coon part. For me, it's Stephen A. Smith. Clearly, we touched on him. I hate even giving him any kind of platform, but I'm a defender of our team, and I'm going to defend definitely the one guy who I love as a New York Knick. I don't care how terrible he is. Josh Hart, to me, is everything I've ever wanted out of a Knick since Latrell Sprewell. When we talk about Knicks, that was one of my favorite ones with Latrell. Yeah, Latrell was the most efficient.
He's the heart of that team.
But Latrell would snatch his mama to win something and leave it all out on the floor. And as much as people look at Josh as being he's kind of clown. He's a funny dude. I listen to him. I think he's hilarious. But people kind of get that mistaken, like he's not a serious basketball player. I think that's what people need to stop. That dude freaking compete.
That ain't right.
Yeah, that dude gives you everything and then some. Literally by the time he's gonna leave his whole knees and his calf muscles on Madison Square Garden's floor by the time this is all said and done. And you got to respect him. I put him right where we have the Anthony Masons and the Oakleys.
He's the heart of this team.
Heart of this team.
He's the heart of this team.
When I hear a guy like him stand up, and we know he does say some stuff that's hilarious. I mean, he cursed out Reggie Miller. I know people don't look at him. It's like this dude went in the archives back like 30 years before he was even born, probably. It was like, oh, you hate Reggie Miller? Oh, we still hate him. So he went back and made it a point to put it on national TV. And to go back further, after that, he's on his personal podcast and they bring up Reggie Miller. He goes, screw that dude. This is what he says. Screw him. And he meant every damn word of it. It was like he was saying it in passing and joking. He's like, man, screw that dude. I don't give a damn what he thinks. And I'm like, you a Knick. You are truly a Knick. I mean, all facets. So when that guy steps up and starts talking about defending his teammates, a guy he feels is a brother, and as much as people clown him and Jalen clown each other, I guarantee you nobody else wants to clown Jalen and let him be around. Because the dude loves his teammates. He plays like he loves his teammate, plays like he loves the uniform, and he loves the opportunity he has to be here in New York and to do this job. What he always says is not even a job. Real jobs are jobs where people got to go and they're barely making it. That's what a job is. So he embraces everything for me that's about playing sports, being privileged to play sports, and playing in this market that's hungry for everything that he delivers on the floor. Even when he comes up short, you'll never hear me complain about Josh Hart. I don't do no Jalen Brunson, I don't complain about. Josh Hart, I don't complain about. They leave it they've left it and they've changed the trajectory of the Knicks. So in moving forward, talking about a guy like Stephen A. Smith coming out, telling Josh Hart he needs to sit down and shut up. He needs to sit down because he's talking. I mean, dude, you when the last time you was in the NBA? When did when did your parents sacrifice to put you in a position where he had to go stay with another family in order to go to college?
Mm-hmm.
So don't talk about this dude needs to sit down. The guy who leaves everything. He's not the highest paid Nick. He's not. He's not. Like the McCall money and OG money, Josh Hart, since he's come here, he's been a winner. He has changed this team. We talk about who changed the team first. We'll go Brunson. Josh Hart is close second.
And then OG changed the team also.
OG just said, "Give me the whole cake." Mm-hmm. So when you see these guys coming in, and they're hard
key moves.
Yeah, those moves change. And any Knicks fan that has no respect for those damn dudes.
No, look at the records directly after when they were obtained. The direct impact that injecting them into that team had. It happened with Brunson. It happened with Hart. Remember the run we went on after Hart came?
Mm-hmm.
He looked like an MVP for a while. And the same thing. Look at the winning percentage of games where OG plays compared to when he does not play.
Ridiculous. So when you hear these pundits come out here, these loudmouth people, these tragic idiots, talking about these players, these important players that you just named, and you talked about the records and why we are where we are, why we're able to have an argument about whether the Knicks are a championship team or not. We're in that conversation because of a guy like Josh Hart. You're not in there. Like, you're like, move him from the starting lineup. You want to move him now? He goes out there when Brunson's sitting out. You want to move that out? Guy didn't miss a three-pointer. He's actually not missed a three-pointer in at least 9 tries. He gives you every damn thing on the court. You notice the difference when he's on there, the energy. And you have the audacity to sit your little ugly little self up there, because that's what we call you, your little ugly little self, and talk about Josh Hart, a family man and obviously a Knick for life. He should be a godly man also. He's got a good way about how he lives his life. You have the nerve to sit your little dry, crusty self up there and talk about he needs to sit down while you're talking? No, you need to sit the hell down. You need to sit. He might be too classy to tell you. You need to sit your little ass down. That's what you need to do. And Knick fans, I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of Knick fans that sit there. You got one of your own. That's what they are to me. They're one of my own. Those dudes are like this is our chance. Like, I don't know how long you've been a Knicks fan, but as Joe said, this is the best I've seen. Yeah. I don't know. I'm 53. I've not. This is the best Knicks team I've ever seen. And to have the audacity to bitch and moan about with a guy who's still averaging his career numbers, because that's what McCall averaging still his career numbers. And then you had the audacity to give misinformation to talk about, Jalen Brunson took a pay cut to get McCall. Well, the fact is Jalen Brunson took a pay cut that no other Knick, even Patrick Ewing, they weren't willing to do. They were not willing to say, put winning ahead of my money. And you complained about, you pissed on that. Think about these things as Knicks fans. You guys should be boycotting that idiot. That's the whole thing. You should be boycotting that idiot because he has no favor about the Knicks. He don't even like the Knicks, in my opinion. He's a wishy-washy fan. Granted, I don't like Spike Lee as mascot of the
whole thing is staged with him.
It's all staged.
He probably is a fan. He just knows the buttons, man.
He knows the buttons, and it's like, call him out on those buttons, like Joe just talked about. Like, why are you jumping on the bandwagon? Let's jump on Mikal Bridges. It's like, how long are you going to talk about this? I just want to know how long we're going to talk about Mikal Bridges. We talk the guy who's a fourth option, and like I said, we're 23-7, and people have found a reason to complain about the Knicks by going on a guy because he's having a struggling moment, and he's not really even struggling. Your team's not struggling because of him, I should say. So who goes down the list and goes, Josh Hart, and then they go down to the last guy who has the lowest score and be like, this dude sucks. Let's do a campaign about him. What? That's aggravating as hell for me. And like I said, I just want to point that out is that dude is going to spew, much like Joe said, the founder of misinformation to get you charged up and worked out about something that doesn't really exist because the Knicks don't really have problems because Mikal Bridges is having an underwhelming time over the last several games. You know, he hit good shots the other night and the Knicks found themselves still in the cat fight. So what are we talking about? You know, if you're in a cat fight with him, hitting shots, because sure as if he's hitting, somebody else is not hitting. That's just how the nature of the NBA. Everybody's not hot every game. There's something. Jordan Clarkson probably was the reason they won the other night because he had a hell of a game while other Knicks players was kind of struggling. So every night is somebody else's turn. And why does Mikal Bridges? It's not like he's the first option. Then you could be jumping all over him. But this dude is the fourth option and you're winning 75% of your games. What are you talking about here? I'll give you the floor. Are you muted? I think you're muted. Hold on, John. Now you.
Okay.
There you go.
For the viewing audience. Right? I'm going to summarize, knowing Ty for as long as I am, about what the message has been that he has been so eloquently delivering today. This is a call to arms for Knicks fans. It's time to get off the whining, the complaining, the negative energy. We are there. We are in our window. We have the team. We have the chance. This is the time to root hard, to believe, to overcome everything that the bad brain is telling you. We have a good team. We have a shot. This is everything we've ever wanted. Celebrate it, root, yell and scream at the team. This is what we've been waiting for. We have a shot. It's a call to arms.
Yep.
Now, this is very direct. He's got a lot more pretty words than I do. But that's exactly what this is. This is what all Knicked Up is telling you tonight.
I couldn't say it no better. You not only read my mind, you read my basketball. So that's exactly it. It's time to rally. This is we're good. Let's go to war. Let's start cheering for your team, man. Let's get the hell up. This is the final hour. This is what I know as a Knicks fan. This is all I've been waiting for the longest time to say. We got something in the fire that we can sit there and believe in. I'm telling you, looking at Jalen Brunson, man, that dude is heaven sent. I mean, that's why I don't complain. It's like you got what you long we've been waiting for one just to have one dude.
It's exactly what you said. He's him with a capital H. He's that guy. He's him.
And Knicks fans are going, oh, who's complaining about his assist? You don't shut the hell up. You don't shut the hell up. You better let this dude rock. You need to be screaming and proud of your team and what this front office has allowed us to have a dream because it was a nightmare. I think Knicks fans don't realize that. It's like, do you know what the last 25 years were before this? How long the drought is? And even when we had a team in the 90s that was good, they weren't good enough. They weren't good enough to overthrow. Now there's such parity in the league. You get hot at the right time, and especially if it's in the playoffs, why not us? This team is capable of beating any team, and they've shown that they're capable. We have the Detroit matter we need to deal with, but playoffs is different. We don't – there's obstacles clearly. We're not going to say it's a cakewalk, but your team is capable. Your team is beating some very successful team, and I think for me, San Antonio has been one of the better teams and maybe the best team over since the break. And, man, the Knicks mollywopped them. I mean, I was just sitting here going like, damn, we have a shot. We have a legit shot. Stop bitching and moaning, Knicks fans. We need to stand up, start cheering for your team. Like Joe said, this is a battle cry for me. You got to start manning up. Stop the complaining. Stop focusing on little things that are not working and look at all the things that are beautifully working for us because we have a team that has a chance this year, next year, given health. And you got a guy like Mitchell Robinson. I think people are not watching how much he's ramped up his game in his time. He's very important right now. So, pray for the health. Deuce McBride's coming back. Knicks got a good shot coming up, and Jordan Clarkson is playing great ball at the right time. So Knicks fans be very happy. We're going to close this out because we're a little bit over our hour time. Joe has some things to do, and I obviously have hunger pains. So we'll see what's going on with that. But good show, Joe. Always lovely seeing you, and love co-hosting with you.
Love doing it, man.
Eric, we'll see you at some point if you're in Mystery Man. You flying about, I don't know what you're doing. But anyway, all Knicked Up fan base, we truly appreciate and love you guys. Check us out on the fan page on Facebook. You can follow Eric as the controller of the Twitter account, All Knicked Up. You can get at him on that. And as you can see, mine and Joe's names are somewhere around here. We're familiar with the show. We love talking hoop, obviously. So whether on Twitter or on Facebook, you can tag us. And we'll get at you and have a conversation and talk some smoke. We do. All right. We're going to call it a night. I think the Knicks play, is it tomorrow, Charlotte? I think it's Charlotte. That should be a nice
Thursday, Charlotte, 7 p.m.
Yeah, that's gonna be Charlotte's better. Charlotte's gonna be a tough task.
They got something going on over there.
Yeah. They got rid of Michael Jordan. He won one in NASCAR, and he's like, "Get out of here, Mike." Time's up, Mike. And now Charlotte was looking like a clown city, but Kobe White. Shout out to Kobe White. He's a good player. So
yeah, he is.
Over to Charlotte. That helped there. That really helped him out a lot. So we'll see. Let's hope that the Knicks can keep the streak alive. But as long as they're playing better basketball, I'm not so caught up in whether they win or lose. It's the quality of the play I'm more concerned about as we head into the playoffs. So get your ducks in a row, start giving a great effort, and we should be perfectly fine. All right, so we're going to sign off. I'm Ty. This is Big Joe, Big Cuff as we call him. You guys have a good night, and we will see you hopefully next Wednesday. Take care.
Peace out.